Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mountain Dew League. Of course, we're about to get right into the Sprout versus Epsilon. Game in itself that is going to be incredibly interesting one to see. Obviously, with Sprout's most recent success at the minor themselves. Very, very incredible display out of them. Once again, being able to get back into that major circuit. Epsilon, a side that themselves have faced trials and tribulations along the way, losing Csgo to none other than Sprout, and him going and having incredible success with that team. But of course, initially, I'd like to welcome you all to the broadcast. I want to give you the nice little opportunity to follow the stream if you haven't done so already. Highly advise you to do so. We're going to be streaming a lot of Mountain Dew League tomorrow as well. 6 best of ones to be precise. Obviously, we'll be rejoining you season 32 as we kick off again another season of MDL, along with many other of our tournaments. But with that being said, of course, as we jump right into pistol round number 1, it's going to be Epsilon that begin on the T side, straight out toward that A bomb site, and 2 kills already be delivered by Brokey and Kreese. It's Spellin that finds one of his own as well. And into a 4v2, it seems like Epsilon, they'll be starting the pistol round very confidently here on this T side. As that bomb does go down, Sisson already dropped down to 23. Murbit on 100, but he's been stuck outside of main. They already know of his position, so he's basically useless. Brokey just adds insult to injury. And there's Kreese to finish. A nice little pistol round to kickstart Epsilon. (16-0) could be the potentially second 16-0s that we could have seen today. We're around for the tricked Namiga game. They had 15-0 at the end of the first half. That was a game in itself. Still, obviously with the force buy coming out of Sprout here in this second round, Surreal started off well. Initial fragging with Farben down to 38. Still able to find a kill at least. Maybe looking for more, and there is it. Second UMP kill. Down into a 3 versus 3 win, particularly Epsilon should be steamrolling this round. They don't really have too much opportunity on Sprout, and there we go, is Ellen able to wrap his way through. Look at Speedy though, that's the bomb dropped. That's a vital mistake from Epsilon. Not that it's a forced mistake, it's more of an unforced one where they don't realize the flank, but again as Murbit able to capitalize from the vent position, that leaves Spellin in a 1 versus 2. With the bomb isolated inside of main, he will at least be able to collect it. With 30 seconds on the clock, and again a lurking Murbit. Just waiting as soon as he drops. Simple kill to find in Sprout. Well, they already open their account here. What a way to kickstart CT side of Nuke. Lose the pistol round, yet win the second one. And already we'll see Searson bringing out the big guns. He'll have himself an AWP already. They know, of course, that Epsilon are going to bring the force buy. Although, does get tagged down to 19 points of health. That scout going to rip into damage a little bit. This is, of course, at least to give Sprout some valid information. Did he looking to try and play close in main? It's Searson that lands himself the first, but facing off against Crucial with that scout, and Searson won't survive for too much longer. It's back down into a 4v4. This has been an odd couple of rounds, to say the least. Very back and forward plays, despite The inventories of both sides not particularly showing signs of that. Keto on top of Hut to be forced back by the scout yet again, and with Crucial bolstering that AWP. Finally, Spiddy will use that lurk position to his advantage, but Brokey to do exactly the same. Keto rips through with that auto shotgun, however, and even looks to shut down Kreese. The end of things, a pretty simple round for Sprout, but Epsilon definitely providing a little bit of a worrisome factor. Of course, now down into their eco this time, though, and shouldn't be presenting too much of a challenge this time. Couple of pistols here and there for that T side, but they shouldn't be investing too much into the round itself. Yeah, we see a single P250, but like that is going to make any serious impact. The standard round thus far, taking the outside control. It's one of the better lines of position to be able to close down a close range frags. You don't want to be fully aggressing round the silo positions, get straight toward outside. I mean, not that it makes any difference, but the thought process was still there for Epsilon. This is now the round, though, that the T-side will be looking to get back into the game with. First, full investment, or at least spending their bank balance to find their rifles. And Kreese going to bring in the SG as well. Which I've got to say, on Nuke itself, actually really serves a valid purpose. We saw in the Trick Namiga game earlier where Csgo was utilizing his Krieg from tunnels down toward B ramp, and it was really working out for him. He got some nice little angles. Searson, he already drops the bomb and gets so much info. He's able to aggress, and Keto again, he's there for the damage. Searson locks out 3. And there's nothing that Kreese can do at this point. It's a 4K for the sniper, and that's a beautiful way to lock Epsilon out of a gun round. A very good start from the Germans, of course. We shouldn't expect anything less from them. Again, Epsilon will find themselves back down to those pistols. Kevlar, at least this time, to work with. A couple of smokes here and there, but the way that Sprout have been starting not only this match, some of their previous games as well, they've looked absolutely stellar. Searson rips through the gap in the smoke. At least able to spot a couple of players going. They know there's info to be had, and Farven's there to find it. Drop down from Spellin, but not that it makes a difference. Honestly, Sprout have had a perfect good couple of days. Qualifying for the minor, then making it through to the playoff stage of the Cologne Invitational. They've just looked like a really solid entity. Realistically, they weren't doing much before the minor, but that's the right way to do things. They haven't been playing online tournaments. Unlike a side maybe like Tricked, who've been playing many online events, the UCC leagues, the Loot Bet seasons, the Kalashnikov Cups, all those, which even though they're not showing their full strategies, are still going to be giving teams little mannerisms here and there, but we've seen very little from Sprout. They've played qualifiers when they've needed to, and they've stayed fresh and clean coming into the minor, and now that they've made it, they can start to unleash a couple of those strategies into their online matches to, you know, just ride out in a best of one to make it through a qualifier, and it's going to really... They probably qualify for Cologne realistically. Obviously, they're going to face up against Team Liquid, which I think is going to be the hardest battle for them. With it only being a single slot for Cologne, you've got to say that Liquid should be in the runnings to lock that down and make it. But there's always a world where Sprout can contest. It's going to be a very hard battle for them. But Liquid, I mean, they lost that best of one against Spirit, so there's definitely chinks in the armor that they can look at. But again, best of ones aren't particularly something you should be taking too seriously. Keto and Flavin, though. One thing exactly that they're taking seriously right now. And it's shutting down this entire Epsilon roster. Keto finds 2. It's Spitty that locks out the round. 6-1, and again, Sprout looking stellar. How about C9? Yeah, let's not talk about that one. C9's a joke right now. That's all we'll say. Still, Epsilon, they have come back for a buy round, though. I've been able to pick up a little bit of utility, but it's nothing that they would consider too plentiful. Is unable to spot out the first man. He even takes out Spellin. Rio does bag himself a nice little refrag, but again, Searson, he's there to ensure the trades are made and the man advantage stays in the hands of Sprout. Have been able to lock out B control for now, but with the rotate being made by Sprout and the man advantage in their favor, as long as they find one more kill or at least keep it level, he should be pretty safe. Although Kreese, he's able to swing into Sears and might have a second bite of the cherry as well, and does. That should be the round going to Epsilon. Now that they've already closed out the B site control, there's a retake to come, but Crucial taking an ulterior angle, even with Brokey take a little bit of damage. It's not going to add any serious impact. Crucial's there to deal some damage as Keto's down to 8 points of health, and that should be where it does get finished off. Epsilon, they will bag themselves at least a second round on the board. Looking pretty good from them in this one, at least. Obviously, Sprout, they're going to have no issue whatsoever making a rebuy. Yeah, Sprout are really good at the moment. Like I said, they stayed out of all online tournaments. They committed to having the strict practice schedule, to not showing any strategies online. It kept them so fresh for the minor that people obviously weren't going to be prepared for it. If you show nothing, you give nothing away. That's the motive that they took, and it obviously really paid off for them. And this time, I've been able to show a little bit of aggression inside of Huts. Some spam to tag Kreese down. Only 9 points of health, though. Nothing too considerable. With that T side wanting to this time head out toward that A site, although not yet confirmed. Crucial will join the rest of his teammates, but they do have a little bit of ramp control as well. Searson being burned down to 53. At least a little bit of damage inflicted before the next trade can come through. But Ito, he's going to play close Hut. He will get only one, though. Spellin able to lock out the A bomb site. Plant to be had and 40-second tick timer. Crucial, the gap in the door. It's not going to work for him. Second time calling, though. This time it is. Searson to trade back Surreal. Down into a 2 versus 2. If Spellin gets caught out right now, there's Crucial. Oh, he's baited the shot. He knows where the first man is, and as he closes down, Crucial, it's all down to him. They have to get on the defuse, though, as time is ticking. They do lose the first man. Murbit struggling with the spray down, and Crucial, somehow he comes out alive. Obviously, there was no time to defuse. But either way, he will find the kill and close down the round. A third on the board for Epsilon. Sprout still able to put the purchase out onto the field. Plentiful inventory to work with. A lot of utility defuse kits as well. I like to see it. There are some sides that give up defuse kits when the money gets a little rough, but they've got plenty in reserve to make sure that they at least have one toward each bomb site. Still, this time, Epsilon able to establish decent outside control. There's been no opposition from inside of Secret just yet. Sprout wanting to focus more onto a quick rotate setup. Spiddy is down toward tunnels, and they'll have the support from Vent as and when it is needed. As he gets caught inside the Molotov, he's going to be really annoyed with that. He got sort of slowed down, caught on the molly at least. 55 seconds on the clock. T-side to head out toward the B site. Searson, though, he'll find a first. Maybe got a little too over-aggressive for his own liking, but he's back through the window. That's why you shouldn't make that sort of play, though. Surreal able to capitalize upon it. The aggression going to be manned, although Spellin, as he's caught by the ramp itself, tries to escape and actually will come out with his life at least. Surreal close ramp. A bit to close him down. They can now focus on this retake. They have a decent amount of flashbangs to be able to cover off the angles with as well, but with 3 players still to hunt for on this T side. Herbit in the right position. He's trying to bait out Crucial. There it is. And as they're already onto the defuse, Spellin, it's him to fall, and Sprout, they will close out a retake, and a very competent one at that. They made no errors whatsoever there. That's a really solid close to the round. Epsilon will find themselves again at an economic disadvantage. Still, a bit of a tactical pause to be taken. Hope everyone in chat is having a great evening as well. A lot of you guys interested in these matches. We love broadcasting MD. Well, it's always... I hope you guys are having a nice little evening. Currently 10:30 here in the UK. Getting close to our bedtimes, but you know, we keep on grinding. This time, Brokey and Surreal, well, they're able to break out onto the A-bomb site. Seems like they might have locked themselves out around. Spellin sold the bait, though, and that's a beautiful switch. Allowing Kreese to remain safe, and Farvan, he gets traded back. Searson, all he's left to do is save that AWP. Epsilon, they're keeping the rounds relatively close. You might think that whilst it is a 7-4 and Epsilon are still a couple of rounds behind. The CT side is... Nice tap by Crucial as well. That's perfect shot. But the T side, they already have enough rounds to be comfortable with up to now. It's just about how many more they can make. Oh, with Epsilon now force Sprout on to an eco. The pistols to be had, a little bit of Kevlar and the defuse kit onto Farvan as well. That's a nice investment at least. Oh, going to take himself down toward that B bomb site. Makes the right choice at least. Has to be very careful about how he goes for his peaks. You don't really want to be losing that defuse kit, so you like the bait and switch idea, and a nice little dink, but the damage to be done, no kills to be made, however. As Kreese closes down Searson into a 1 versus 4, and all left in the hands of Merbit. This point, T-side going to be very, very comfortable now. You've got to save 5 rounds on a T-side of Nuke. He's at least going to be pretty competent. that we do have a little bit of a pause made. I assume by Sprout, now that they're onto their gun round, now that they're able to make the investment into these rifles. Might just have a little bit of a slight discussion about what they want to change in this round. I'd love to see Searson playing more of a standard position with that AWP, or one great factor that we saw with the tricked game earlier was that Akor was boosting himself onto the hut outside of garage. And whilst you can be spotted behind the little, but for want of a better word, the little nipple box where you can peek your head around from top of hut, it's more unorthodox than most positions, so you can definitely add a little bit of a surprise element. If Searson can bring in a couple of adaptive elements into his game, it's going to make that AWP so much more valuable on the CT side. Especially for the fact that an AWP is really viable on the CT side of Nuke. He can go toward ramp, he can play toward outside, he can, even sit toward top of heaven if he likes and just hold the cross towards secret, because you know that Epsilon, in most rounds, like to exploit that secret push. And so, this time we'll see Merbit with the AUG. Again, another valid weapon. Now that the Augs have come into meta, you can really utilize them like a sniper. Hold similar angles just because you have that scoped advantage when you're facing off against AKs. And Epsilon, they don't particularly run a T-side AWP. It slows them down a lot, which I think they finally realized. Crucial used to always buy that T-side AWP. But you can see, he's got the funds for it, but still chooses to use an AK. And honestly, I prefer it. He's a very versatile player that suits both a rifle and an AWP. This time, a 2-for-1 trade, and there it is. Crucial able to surprise behind the door. Spitty replies with one of his own, but bomb is already planted. Pearson looking for a surprise element of his own. The grenade, it masked the ladder sound. And that'll see Searson able to shut down Crucial. They spot the outside rush as well. Spelling the last man alive that should see Sprout taking an 8th round. As they're already firing a couple of pot shots here and there, they finally bait him out of his position. There's Merbit to find it. 8-5, and Sprout at least winning the first half. The minimum amount of rounds required on the board. This time again, gonna see another tactical pause to be made. Although gives us a nice little time to say, if you haven't followed the Twitch channel already, definitely something that I advise you to do, considering that MDL tomorrow is gonna be crazy. We have some truly incredible games tomorrow. Sprout versus Vitality. XCOM versus Alternate Attacks. It's an okay game. Again, Sprout versus Alternate Attacks. Sprout versus Ago. Vitality versus Gamer Legion. We have some cracking games coming up tomorrow. If you want the notification for as soon as we go live and to take part in giveaway and stuff and chat, make sure to follow the channel. We are close to 10k. Nice little shout out there. But Crucial and Spellin, they'll kickstart the round so quickly. Merbit, he's the last man alive with 25 seconds of the round gone. And that's it. Epsilon take themselves 8-6. What was probably the quickest round we'll ever see in this game inside of these 30 rounds. I don't know how or why that happened so quickly, but it just did. Final round of the first half, and Epsilon, they're trying to make this 8-7. Doing so would put them at such a good position. Because if they can bag 7 rounds on a T side of Nuke, they take the pistol on CT side and tie the score and take the lead. Going to really give Epsilon a burst of confidence right now. Especially in a best of one, as soon as you start to take the momentum. That's where you close out the game. Look at Farven, though. He's been able to get himself a nice little flank, but the flank has been flanked. Okay. A little bit of 4D chess going on right now. Keto at least to trade out Brokey, but the site's already lost, and Searson offers himself up on a plate. Well, there's the round itself. That's going to see Sprout at least able to close out the first half, but an 8-7. Epsilon, they're actually in a very good position. Second half to start very, very quickly. I like that Esea now gives the teams chance to start earlier. I think that in Season 30, it was a either 1 minute 30 or 1 minute timer, and then once it ran out, the second half started. But obviously, it gives now chance for teams if they're ready to say, yeah, let's go. So I like it. Second half to begin. Looks like we have a little bit of a tactical pause, though, or technical maybe. The way is going to give Sprout chance to begin to redeem themselves now on that T side. Pistol round would kickstart them to a very good position moving forward. Epsilon find themselves this pistol round. Well, that is them right back into this game. For me, Epsilon is such a solid side in a best of one because there's such an unpredictability about them, where they either do very well in single maps or they flop entirely. And when they do well, obviously it's a best of one, so you can really... That's it. As soon as you put the 16th round on the board, that's the series won. This time, it's Speedy. He's going to hold the outside position. He's at least able to take down one. It's Searson that finds one of his own. I'm not too sure what Surreal is wanting to do there. Nice shot by Brokey at least to return a frag, but down into a 3 versus 2, and Spiddy, he's still exploiting outside control. Can dip through toward vents if that was something he wanted to do, but final man toward ramp. That will now see the CT side losing second pistol round of this game. No. Did they win the pistol in the first half? Esea has a really weird way of displaying rounds. I think it was it was Epsilon that won the pistol round, because then Sprout traded the second round somehow. Yeah, there we go. So is Epsilon going to be taking an eco round this time, not wanting to fully invest, and rightly so? And of course, take that purchase into the next round. They won't have an AWP, but they'll definitely be able to afford the AUGs, the M4s. A little bit of utility. Oh, Searson actually does tag onto Bellan through the smoke as well. He's, of course, going to be ecoing for the AWP himself. As Merbit close down Crucial. A very simple round for Sprout. It realistically should have been as well. Crazy even to find himself a frag, but Searson, again with that USP to get himself one more, and the Mac 10 kill as well. Well, he's already confirmed himself the AWP into the next round for sure. Oh, to end off this round, Merbit will just put the final kill on the board, no doubt about it. 10-7 and double figures confirmed. That, of course, will already see Sprout investing heavily into this round. Keto even to keep the Mac 10 alive. The same as Merbit as well. Fair enough. I kind of like it. Brokey to be playing the auto shotgun. Again, another very valid weapon on the CT side of Nuke, especially with a player like Brokey, who either change up his gameplay, where he goes aggro, play a little passively if needs to, but with the auto shotgun, you should be going balls to the wall, realistically. So, it looks like Sprout going to go into more of an outside execution. They do already have Ito up toward red container as well, so there's already a little bit of control established, but Spellin in a good position to at least deny the further info to be gathered, and that's his initial kill at a round. That might actually sway Sprout's judgment here. They might redirect. Merbit, although able to run and gun onto Spellin, Brokey a shot through the smoke that closes down Spitty, and they keep the man advantage, at least for now. 40 seconds on the clock. T-side to take over toward the B bomb site. Merbit has to be careful if he wants to remain alive, although does have a very solid position toward those vents to stop any rotate coming. As Searson does drop the smoke, well, there's the bait and switch that he was waiting for. Knows that he can draw the man out with the sniper. Merbit able to trade onto Brokey. Bomb to be planted down into a 2 versus 2. There is a rotate coming from tunnels, however. Will Kreese be able to find the kill as soon as that door is opened? Game should be locked on. Merbit with the AWP, 2 points of health and a smart decision to pick up the rifle, but there's Farven. Not that Merbit's even needed, but rightly so, he keeps himself alive. And 11-7 and Epsilon, then now down to pistols. This might just see Sprout taken again, such a heavy barrier lead. Isn't. Down crucial. Should be the pretty simple mantra of this round for Sprout either way. Shouldn't be giving up any kills either. They should be looking to keep 5 players alive. Not only would that give them just an overall positive feeling, but stabilizes the economy for a couple of rounds. You can see now that Merbit, Farven, Searson, their money is starting to grow. If they can get Spitty onto that similar position, Sprout are going to be safe even if they lose a round. So, 55 seconds on the clock, and this T-side playing such a patient game, but it's really nice to see. Even against an eco, they're not wanting to fully commit or rush anything. Yes, Kreese able to find a kill, but that should be the nade to finish him off. Does damage, but doesn't actually kill him. Back into a 4 versus 4 with 30 seconds just passed. They will be able to catch out Kreese now. We'll have to start executing onto the bomb site fairly soon, and Surreal, he's not going to be spotted. Somehow takes 2. Well, that should be the round lost, surely, unless they kill him right now and get the bomb down, which I think they might have just had time to do. Luckily, they just put the bomb down. That was, honestly, that Sprout should have been butt clenching right there. Because honestly, I know I was. I thought that round was lost. Ellen trying to dive into Searson, but Merbit there to close the round itself. That will now see Sprout up to 12 at least. Epsilon back onto a repurchase. Crucial going to pick himself up the AWP. And already, instant impact. AWP duel. Searson comes out on top, but it's Brokey again. that's able to utilize the strength of that auto shotgun. Spell, and he'll catch out Keto. Smart move to try and get toward ramp, but this time not going to work. He spots out Searson as well. Very valid information to be gathered by their in-game leader. Still, as Kreese trading out Spitty. Merbit down to 3 points of health and into a 3 versus 2. Oh, still Kreese again. As he does close out Searson. All down to Merbit. 3 points of health and he already hears him. A simple frag to say the least. Even though he does have the bomb in hand, he's not going to get anywhere close to successful. 12-8, and now Sprout going to find themselves in a little bit of a funny spot, because Farven can't purchase, neither can Keto, Spitty isn't there either, but Searson, Merbit, they can drop a couple of rifles between them. It all depends what they want to do right now, because Searson, he can drop out 2 AKs and buy one of his own with... I want to say, no, he definitely can't drop 2. I don't think, anyway. Yeah, 27. Yeah, he can buy 2 AKs, one for his teammate, one for himself with Kevlar. Merbit can drop one, buy one himself as well, but it looks like Sprout just want to go for a pistol eco. Fair enough. I definitely think it's a more of a wise decision. Could have definitely forced out the purchase, but... fair enough. Spellin should be a pretty simple round for Epsilon, to say the least. Already able to shut down Jason fairly early. Fair enough. Keto able to find himself a kill of his own. Real, though, to land one more, and that should be crucial as well, trying to deal some extra damage. Might be caught inside of window, but no, still actually takes out the kill. Fair enough. Finds a double as well. Has Merbit last alive into a 1 versus 2. This actually looks a little scary because he has Kevlar and an AUG. So, be able to find kills necessary. Plenty of time to retrieve the bomb. We'll head toward outside as well. It depends whether Crucial will be peeking this sort of position, however, because he can watch the cross right now and there's not a lot of time left. Might be more prudent or a bit to head back inside of main. 25 seconds. Oh, there it is. Oh, he's going to force out the bait now, but no, Kreese is wise to it. A bit too smart for his own good there. He thought as soon as he found the first kill, that should have been the bait toward the B bomb site. Unfortunately, Kreese read it pretty well. Either that or he was right place at the right time. Know which one he'd like to say it was, but 12-9 and Sprout back into a purchase. Searson onto the AWP. Plenty of utility to work with as well. This, of course, now see Sprout. Oki again just working with that auto shotgun. Being an absolute nuisance for Sprout this game. It's Keto to close out Surreal. Down into a 4 versus 2. This is where it now gets a little bit more dangerous. Crucial will reposition toward red container, and I'm pretty sure he just spotted the head of Speedy. Looks like that CT side will be going for a save of their own. Their economy is down in the dirt right now. So. (13-9). Shroom CT side have taken themselves a tactical pause. Again, going to force into this round. Not too sure whether I like this decision or not. Because right now, if Sprout win this one, not only will it put them up to a 14th, 15th would certainly be round the corner, considering that Epsilon would have to either... Well, they'll probably have to force buy again, realistically. It's going to be less successful than this one, to say the least. Here we go, we'll find out. This either marks Epsilon staying in the game, or it marks the end of the game itself. Because right now, Sprout, they're on that precipice where a couple of rounds will seal the deal. Oh, this time Spell, and he's going to get outsmarted by Sis, and a quicker reaction. That sees their in-game leader already taken out of the scenario. Still, E-side going to find themselves now at a pretty comfortable position. As already they break out toward that A site. It's Murbit that finds himself a first. He helps out his teammate. There's Farven with 2. And the force buy is not going to pay off at all. And this time, 14-9. Now where it gets a little bit risky for Epsilon. On into that position again where their money isn't going to be as strong as they would like. The round loss bonus definitely going to be assisting them a little bit. And once again, they are going to go for that force buy. Once again, Epsilon into a position they aren't going to be as comfortable. They've not spent the entirety of their bank balance, which I am definitely glad about. Ito. Oh, Spellin trying to go for the backstab there, but not going to work out for him. They've already secured the B bomb site tunnels, and even though Surreal will hear a lot of the footsteps, he's got an MP9. It might work for this close range battle. Able to take out a first and drop the smoke, but that's all he's good for. The readjustment comes by Sprout. They know the angles they can hold from. As that bomb does get planted. 15-9, all but confirmed, and Sprout a single round away from finding victory now. That will, of course, see Sprout go round victory away from the game. It's going to come down to at least a force buy or a purchase out of Epsilon. They will at least have rifles to work with, but it's going to be a very, very risky operation for Epsilon. They've got to get themselves 5 rounds in a row. They'll make that 6 rounds in a row if they want to stay in this game. So, it does come down to this. Sprout. Go around. Close it. Epsilon having to stay in the game and do it cleanly as well. They can't afford too many round or player losses. They can't be losing 3 or 4 players but still winning the round. That's Going to shut down their economy entirely. He's going to be looking for information of his own, and we'll be able to find it. Closes down a first kill onto Murbit. That will force Sprout to readjust, though. Do they realize that Spellin is inside of Garage? They definitely tagged him earlier because he was being spammed from inside of Squeaky Door. But it's whether or not they now realize that he's still there. Oh. I have to be very, very careful. Ellen, do you spot the legs? Well, yes, he does. Playing the perfect little timing maneuver to allow the first man to cross and then close him down as well. Searson at least to trade back a kill of his own, but into a 4 versus 2. And, oh, that Molotov, it's not going to spread to the corner. Spiddy, a 1 versus 3. Kreese does actually get burned alive. 15-10, though, and Sprout, they do remain this game. Epsilon battling for at least another round to come. So this time, again, Brokey utilizing that auto shotgun. And then going to launch his grenade out toward outside. Nothing to come of it as of yet. A little bit of impact, but nothing too crazy. Again, a nice grenade onto Farven, but it's not going to inflict crazy damage. Ever crucial. He's there to find a kill of his own. It's Spiddy that finds the return, though, and shuts down the AWP. Alan, he finds one of his own. 4 versus 3 that sees Epsilon yet again reinstating that one-man advantage. "50 seconds on the clock. They will begin to prepare their execution. See Kreese Molotov off at the top of Hut. Arvin is there for the support, but again, they've got to factor in that Brokey has that auto shotgun to work with. At any sort of close range within 3 or 4 feet, he's just going to pummel them to death. Kreese, he will get taken down. There's the kill onto Brokey as well. This might be where it falls apart, and it seems exactly so surreal. He'll be the last man in a 1 versus 3, and Murbit, whilst he can't hold the line, it's information gathered. As he does try and aggress, there's Farven to close it down, and honestly, pretty solid round out of Sprout to end the game, but that is going to be it from us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for some more Mountain Dew League action starting at 1500 PM, 3 PM Central European Summertime. Kicking it off with the Sprout Vitality game. A very exciting matchup, to say the least. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow the channel to never miss a broadcast that we produce. Currently, 16 followers away from 9,500. With 1,900 of you being here right now, it'd be much appreciated if you could all hit that follow button on your way out, and we'll join you all tomorrow for some more Sprout and action. I think we cover 3 of their games tomorrow, including 1 versus Vitality, Alternate Attacks, Csgo. We have some Vitality Gamer Legion in there as well. But with that being said, I have enjoyed the broadcast. Want to hit me with a follow on Twitter? You can definitely do so with my link right there. That is it from me. Have a great rest of your evening. It's pretty late for most of us if you're in the EU. That being said, I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next broadcast.